Hello everybody, welcome back to We're Down South. As always, I'm joined with Dan Humphrey. How are you doing, Dan?
Very well, Matthew. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, Dan. Last time we spoke, it feels like so much has happened at Sunderland AFC. It feels like the club has just ended an era and gone into a brand new era. So as soon as we finished the recording the podcast, actually, last week, the day after, Phil Parkinson lost his job. So what were your feelings on that?
It was the right decision for me. Too many of the same mistakes being made. Took the lead, sat back, weren't weren't killing off games, weren't being clinical enough. So unfortunately, I didn't hate Phil Parkinson as much as some of the managers we've had recently in the past. But I just didn't really. He just had no emotion. He was just so dull. So I wish him all the best, obviously, but I'm happy he's gone now. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, as you said, I've actually never been more pleased for a manager to go. I've honestly been wanting Phil Parkinson out for absolutely ages. I thought he didn't like big characters. He just wanted everything to be about him in the dressing room, and he was very stubborn, and the players were going to play how he was going to play. He was never going to change his mind. Once he believed in something, he was never going to change his opinion on it. One thing I just didn't like was him dropping Aidan McGeady completely out of the squad. And it just shows that Aidan McGeady was capable to come straight back in because, Lee Johnson did bring him straight back in.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Phil Parkinson, as soon as he walked in the door, he didn't actually I don't think he progressed the club. He didn't do anything because
No.
when he took over, the club was in where was the club? Like eighth? Where were we? Like
Eighth, ninth, yeah.
And we finished eighth. So all he did was take us from eighth to eighth. This season as well, we started off okay. But there's something missing. There's something missing there. And Phil Parkinson was always very in denial, and he very much believed in what he was still doing, although we could see as fans that it wasn't quite working. But anyway, he was sacked on Sunday, and less than a week later, on the Saturday before the game, we appointed Lee Johnson. Now, what were you thinking as soon as Lee Johnson was appointed? Because that wasn't a name that everyone was talking about all week, were they?
I was thinking, thank God. He was one of my, apart from Nigel Pearson and Super Kev together, but that was never going to happen. He was my favourite choice. So I'm pretty happy with him. I preferred him over Cowley. The Cowley brothers, I mean, they were only PE teachers about 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm not sure how much I would have liked them. But yeah, I've liked Lee Johnson for a while. I've known of him. I liked him when he went on that cup run with Bristol City in the League Cup. I think they beat Man United, I'm pretty sure. And they gave City a good run. And I remember his energy, lifting up the ball boy, running down the touchline. So hopefully he injects a bit of that into our players. And then the fans will go react with it when allowed back in the coming weeks.
Yeah, exactly. I think Johnson, he was an appointment where I was very pleased, and hopefully it goes better than the last Johnson that was at Sunderland. But I think this one's good. I think he's coming in, and he's going to be in charge of the new structure, because obviously we brought in, what's his name? I can't pronounce his first name.
Speakmen.
Kristjaan Speakmen, who is the football.
He did speak well, to be fair, that lad. He did speak well.
Yeah, director of football or something like that. So I think that's the sort of role we're going in. He's making a lot of the footballing decisions, obviously as director of football, with Johnson as the head coach. Although Johnson was appointed during the week, I think it was Tuesday, everyone was very convinced that Gus Poyet was going to be taking the role. It was all over social media. Everyone, I remember on Instagram, SAFC Till I Die, he was certain that Gus Poyet was going to take the manager role. Now, what were you thinking at that moment in time, thinking Gus Poyet could take this over here?
I was caught in two minds, because I'm not sure going back to an old manager is necessarily the best way to run a football club, because he obviously kept us up with that miracle escape, and he did well in that season, and he got to the final of the League Cup, which you can't really put him down for. But for me, I wasn't very interested in him being the new manager. I would have someone new, someone fresh, just to not be as same as last time. I just don't like the idea of a manager coming back for me. So I'm happy. I would have taken him. Don't get me wrong. If he had come, I would have got behind him.
Yeah.
You know, I liked what he did. I like what he did. He's done decent before, but for me, I'm happy with the man we've got actually now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think he obviously wasn't my first choice when as soon as Parkinson was sacked, but as soon as that day came where Gus Poyet, it was Gus Poyet everywhere, Gus Poyet, get on the Gus bus and whatever, I started to get a little bit excited because I thought, well, actually, this is not usually in League One do we appoint names of people that we know. So for Gus Poyet to come back, I started to get a bit excited. And then obviously Keith Downey disappointed me afterwards with his tweet. But I find it quite interesting how Gus Poyet has turned down the Sunderland job, because he said before in the Roker Report podcast, What the Falk podcast, and was it Speak Sunderland, that he said he'd happily return to Sunderland now. So I'm thinking in my head, and I put a tweet out about this as well, because I tweeted when I am not happy about something, what I do is I send a tweet out to get my discontent out. And I said it's a little bit dodgy that he was saying all this stuff of returning, and as soon as it's announced he's going to come back or whatever, he said no, he's turned it down and rejected it. And then this reason is because Sunderland are in League One. But I don't know, could it be something different?
Yeah, I think something dodgy's gone on there, to be honest, because it's not like you'd go to the interview or get involved. You obviously know we're in League One. You know the complete disaster situation we're in at the moment. So it's not as if he's gone in thinking we're still bloody in the Prem or anything. So yeah, maybe, I don't know, he might have. To be fair, he might have realised the cluelessness of the people running our club and thought, do you know what? Not for me. But yeah, something definitely happened there.
Yeah, and I've got some theories, and I actually have. Although I am 270 miles away from Sunderland, I do have some inside sources at the club telling me a few things here and there. So I'm going to tell you that in a minute. But yeah, it doesn't really make too much sense that Gus Poyet, he went out of his way to speak to the club. He went for the interview. He said he was going to happily take the role. He did all that, and no betting shops would allow more bets on him to become Sunderland manager, because they were certain he was going to take the job. So could it be something at the club, at the board level? And now this is where the theory comes in. So I know this sounds like a complete lie, and I'm telling fibs here, but it's not.
Here we go.
My dad's friend's son, yeah, now you know who, Paul Walston, yeah, plays for Manchester United. Now when he was younger, he played for Sunderland, and obviously when he was at the club, he got to know people inside the club, and they're still there now. Now they have said that when Lee Johnson, when he was about to take the role, Lee Johnson had a lot of questions for the ownership, Stuart Donald, about the ownership, what was happening, and these were questions that Stuart Donald couldn't answer. Stuart Donald, he gave him a contract. He said, here you go, the Macam Dictionary. He gave it to him. He said, here you go. You got 24 hours, take it or leave it. He didn't answer his questions, take it or leave it. Sign this contract or not. And Lee Johnson has signed the contract and he's become Sunderland's head coach. So that's apparently what's happened. So if that has happened with Gus Poyet, could that be the reason why he turned down the club? Because he did all of that, he spoke to the club, but if the club couldn't answer his questions about the ownership and what's going on above him, maybe that's why he's turned the job down.
It could just be a bit of this at the end of the day.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think, again, why would Gus Poyet go out of his way? He knows the club is in League One. So, he's gone out of his way to do it all. He wants the job. He's a football manager and he's out of work. So, and I'm sure he loves Sunderland. He's had a great time here, took us to Wembley. But, we've now got another manager who went on a good cup run. And we know how much we love cup runs as Sunderland fans. We love going to Wembley. We love it going to Wembley.
It's our second home, that is, I'll tell you.
Honestly, fantastic. But yeah, no. So that's that with the manager situation. But I mean, he came in, Dan, and on the Saturday at 12:40 he was announced, and I remember I was out. I was Sports Direct getting myself some football gear to play football that evening. I went for a little Costa, got my ham and cheese toasty, and then I connected to the Wi-Fi at Costa, and I saw Lee Johnson was announced Sunderland head coach, and then I read he was taking charge of the afternoon's game. But what was your opinions on him taking charge?
I mean, fair play to him. He's got a set of bollocks on him, I'll tell you. I'm not sure I'd be wanting to go in that early, but let's be honest, he must have thought, right, we're playing Wigan. They're literally shite. They've done nothing, or they've lost a bloody Chorley. My mate's brother in the bloody FA Cup, Chorley in the National League North.
Yeah.
Surely I can start off with a win. Surely I can start off with a win here against these absolute jokes. But no, it didn't work out in the end. But do you know what? Fair play to him, because many managers would have just said, you know what, Andrew Taylor, take charge of this game. I'll come in Monday morning and start then, get in the training pitch, 10 a.m. or whatever it is, and we start then. But no, to be fair to the lad, and he probably would have, from that post-match interview, I can tell how much already. He took him one game to see the changes that we've all known, and we've all been waiting to be heard and be accounted for. He's said that we've got no pace up front. We've got that he's basically said our strikers are useless, which is completely accurate. And we need to improve that in January, get a bit of pace, get a bit of power, because we've been lacking that for the last 3 years, and finally someone's acknowledged it. So I thought his interview as well was quality for me. But
yeah, absolutely. I think that first day when he came in the Saturday, he did more in that day that I wanted to see. He did everything I wanted to see in a manager and more. I know the team on the pitch lost, but everything he possibly could have said and what he had done in that situation, he had one day, I don't think he even had a training session with the players, but he had those few hours to pull a team together. And even when the team was released, we were getting all excited because we're like, finally, we've got a flat back four. I can read you the team out now. It was Lee Burge, Conor McLaughlin, Tom Flanagan, Bailey Wright, Max Power, Chris Maguire, Josh Scowen, Will Grigg, Brighton and Bitter, Aidan McGeady, Denver Hume. Now, I tell you what, the first name I looked at when that team sheet was released was Aidan McGeady. And I have to say, it nearly brought a tear to my eye. I was sitting on my sofa and I just read Aidan McGeady. And I was literally like, oh my gosh. It's like the second coming of Jesus. Do you know what I mean? It's like he's come back. And it is just such a beautiful moment. So when he released that team, like, what were you thinking?
I was so shocked. I was completely shocked. I mean, fair play to him. Like, he wasn't holding back. He got straight in the mix. You know, he's given them opportunity, and I thought he played pretty well considering he literally has not played. We played one game for the 23s the other week, but he has not played a competitive match for about a year, a proper competitive match. So fair play to the manager for putting him straight away, and fair play to McGeady for showing the qualities that he has. You know, he had a few good shots, had a few opportunities, and I thought he was one of the best players on the pitch on Saturday. But obviously, it wasn't a very high bar, but he was definitely one of our better players.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, McGeady, it didn't look as though he had not played for Sunderland in over a year. It looked like he was... And the thing is, when McGeady plays in previous seasons, when he's played, it's not been like Sunderland, it's been McGeady FC, you know? And it's like everyone passes to McGeady and let him do something. But he really did feel like he was part of the team because he was coming in deep and he was collecting the ball and he was trying to pass it out and he was making these brilliant runs. And I remember his first touch, right? I've been just crying out for some good crossing, right? And he got the ball on his left, his first touch, and he did a step over and beat the defender and put a cross in. That I have never been waiting for a step over for so long in my life. And I literally nearly broke down when he did that. And I was like, this has got to be one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. I know that sounds ridiculous, but when you just have these players playing for you every single game who can't even beat a defender, and someone comes on, their first touch for Sunderland in over a year, and he beats a defender and puts a cross in. Yes, the keeper might have caught the cross, but it's still a start. Do you know what I mean? At least it's still a start. but yeah, no, I think he did well. Obviously, there was one good run that he made, and Ledbetter fed the ball through for him. And I honestly thought McGeady's going to score here, and I thought he did as well. But it hit the side netting.
Probably should have.
I jumped out my chair and he broke my arm by doing it. But I honestly thought it was in. But yeah, no, fair play to him. He's still got those runs, and he's just, his football intelligence on the pitch is a lot better than a lot of the other players. You know, I mean, Lyndon Gooch, for example, he would not have had the intelligence to make that cross and be in that area at that time. So yeah, I mean, McGeady, I'm very happy that he's back. And it just
he's played in the Champions League. He's played in the Premier League. You can show that he's head and shoulders, even though he's 97. He's still head and shoulders.
I know. He's about to get his letter from the Queen.
Ability.
Yeah, exactly. And he's still
just
really
had his Jubilee wedding, hasn't he?
I know.
Jeez, man.
I know. I mean, Jesus, it's gonna be. I know we lost, but I sent a message to him on Instagram, and I just said, I know we lost, but I don't understand how much, I love you. That's what I said to McGeady. I don't think he's going to respond, but but still. But it just shows like Johnson must have come in and just gone, hang on a minute, why is Geeds over there? What's he doing over there? Get him back in the team. He's the best player in the league. Why is he over there? And it just shows he came back in, and I think he performed better. He was the best player for us on the pitch, to be honest.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So, I mean, getting to the game now. 10 minutes in, I think we're playing some good football. Well, what did you think as the game was going on?
But then Bailey Wright, oh my God, what has happened to him, man? A 19-year-old Scottish under
19,
whatever international. He's played about 5 first-team games in his life, man.
Oh my God!
It's his first ever career senior goal ever, and he's just been put. Bailey Wright, he's played for probably like 10 years. He played for Australia. He's played the Championship for years. He gets pushed off the ball by a little Scottish boy, and he's just it's a good finish, but like you can't just clear the ball. Just clear the ball. But and he nudges him off. Oh, sorry, you can go. And he just lets them score. So yeah, that was poor from him again. And then you know what they're going to do. Fair play to them. They've got 2 bloody 6'5" centre halves. Curtis Till, I thought, played pretty well. I think he was at Blackpool last year. So that's probably a good signing for him, to be fair. He just headed everything. They cleared everything. They just did. As soon as they scored, right, set part of the boss. But obviously they're going to do that. They're bottom of the league. They need as many points as they can. And their game plan was absolutely executed brilliantly. So, yes, we did shit, but fair play to Wigan, because they're obviously shit. But they made the best out of the team, and also their game management as well. I think it was who was it? It was one of their. I think it was Naismith. I think their ball guy. I think it's Naismith.
Yeah.
He was diving around. He was wasting time. Went down about 3 times, but that's what you got to do. I was counting up the minutes at the end that they're wasting, and you never get it back. But fair play to them. That's what you got to do. You got to shit house some games to win, and we just don't. I know we don't encourage that. We don't want to be cheats. We don't want to cheat the system. But you've got to do. If you're going to be a successful team, look at Wickham last year, and now they're even doing it right. They've picked up a few points in the Championship. They could even stay up. Yeah, shit house. They use their brains. Yeah. You don't have to be the best footballing team in this league. If you're the smartest team, you'll probably do pretty well. And that's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Wigan, I mean, we dominated Wigan in possession wise, but it felt like their defence was just impossible to break down with the players that we had on the pitch at the time. It didn't help really, because with our players there was just, as I keep saying, in the players now, there's just that something missing. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel as though we're playing the game and we're going to score. Do you know what I mean? Like, we had to scrape a draw off Burton, with a max power header. It's just a cross that comes into the box and he's quickly there to head it in. But it's not like a goal proper, worked in. You pass there, I pass. Remember Denver Hume's goal against Wickham last season at home. Like that has got to be one of the best passing moves I've ever seen, and a goal. That's just what we've got to do every game. We've got to be able to have that communication and that just connection in the team to be able to do that, to break down these defenses. Because what these teams are going to do.
Denver Hume, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
What has happened to him, man?
The thing is, he's playing.
I think his injuries not come at the worst time.
Yeah, exactly.
Go on, you go.
Like last season, he was playing so many games, but we didn't have that backup left back. I don't think we even had Lawrence de Bock. Do you know what I mean? We had Lawrence de Bock.
He was so shit.
Like that was the backup, and I think we sent Lawrence de Bock back, and then during January, I think we had a little bit of Denver Hume had a bit of a dip in form. I don't remember what his dip in form was, but he did have one. I do remember, and we were just like, he's playing so many games, he's playing too many games. And even when we had Declan John in, Declan John didn't even get a game. And Denver Hume really dipped in form.
Yeah,
and
that was bizarre.
Parkinson still kept with Denver Hume. And it's just, he has a dip in form and he keeps on playing it and it just doesn't help. So maybe this time out the team is helping him. I think even helps Lyndon Gooch, because Lyndon Gooch, I don't think he's the best player. He's one of the best players that we have. You know, he has these moments of qualities. He's got a good shot on him. His all-round game is quite poor, to be honest. And I think when he has a little break in the team and comes back in, he performs a little bit better. So perhaps this break in the team for Denver Hume could do him some good. But yeah, it was a shame to watch him, you know, as such a young player do his hamstring. But you know, McFadden came on. I don't, you know, I'm not really sure about him. He didn't have a bad game, but again, it just wasn't anything special, you know?
Yeah, against Fleetwood in the Papa John's Mickey Mouse McDonald's trophy.
Yeah.
He was the best player on the pitch for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, on Saturday, didn't do much. But again, I'd give him a few more games. Obviously, he's going to play anyway for the next few weeks, but hopefully he plays well again. Because I think he's a decent player, and I've heard good things from the fans. I can't remember what team he played for, but he was quite a fan favourite.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what I've said is how these players, they're sort of decent, they're solid, they do a job, but they're just nothing special. Do you know what I mean? They don't stand up and like, give me the ball here. I'm about to beat, 11 players and I'm about to score the best goal you've ever seen. You know, they're not like that. They're just sort of going there, do their job and go home. You know, I think we need those players that want to come in and do something.
If you looked up Tom Flanagan or Conor McLaughlin in the dictionary, that would be what would come up.
Yeah, exactly.
What you just said.
Yeah. I think, going on Conor McLaughlin, right? I think, yeah, he does his job like what he can do. You know, he's not built as a player that can bolt down the right hand side, and put this amazing cross into the box. He does his job fairly well that he's been asked to do. I don't think he could do it anymore. I think he's quite a solid player, to be fair to him. He's been better this season than last season.
He's played brilliantly this season.
He has, and I don't think right wing back is his sort of role to play. But when he's been asked to play it, I mean, he can't do any more than that. You can't say he's had a bad game, but again, you can't say that he's done anything special.
What I would say as well, to be fair, the players they've played five at the back for a year, or pretty much a year. It's going to take them a while if we do change system or formations to get used to it. Because like Conor McLaughlin, he's played so well on that right centre back of the back three role, but that position is so different to a normal right back.
Yeah,
which would probably be Luke. Luke Online would be playing there if he was fit, not on the bench. But you got to give an opportunity because I don't think he can play. I don't think Conor McLaughlin can play in the two centre.
Yeah.
I think he's very suited until Luke comes back, and I would play Luke over him.
Yeah, exactly. I would as well. I think also a player we're missing as well is Jordan Willis. I think because
Yeah,
he's just sort of, even in the right centre back position, he does have that attacking side to his game as well, where he can sort of take the ball forwards, you know, and he does a lot of overlaps with Luke O'Nien on the right
he's
hand
got a bit
side.
of cojones about him as well.
Yeah, exactly. He's not really scared, and he throws himself in for everything, doesn't he? I like that about him. Obviously, he's still recovering now. I don't even know if he's training with the team. I can't remember. Is he training with the team, or is he still
Uh,
out?
uh, Lee Johnson said Lee Johnson said today actually he hadn't got a chance to train with it because he's been doing still doing
Yeah,
individual work
yeah,
rehab on his injury.
yeah, exactly. I think it was his knee problem, and I don't think Parkinson playing him for 90 minutes at Fleetwood away in the last Papa John's, Domino's, Pizza Hut trophy did any good to him,
That was
Um,
just ridiculous, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
yeah,
What was he
exactly.
thinking?
He was struggling all game, wasn't he? He couldn't even stand up properly. He was expecting him to play an entire
And like
game.
that game that when Gooch was injured against Doncaster, you could clearly see he'd been injured for much of the second half when he got that
Yeah,
tackle on him. But no, just keep him on for the majority of the game and
I
injury
know.
and all.
I know. That's just ridiculous, isn't it? Um, but yeah, I mean, whenever he's going to be back, I'm not too sure. But when he is, I think that's. I think he's one of our best players. To be fair to him, he's everything you want in a centre back, and he's
Yeah.
fast. And hopefully he comes back. But I think one thing we are lacking, and I don't know. Obviously, I'm saying we're lacking that whatever that is. One alarming thing I thought Lee Johnson said in his post-match interview was he's very surprised with how quiet it is, and just sort of like the lack of character now.
Yeah.
There isn't really anyone with that character, and I think what you've seen is McGeady. Obviously, he is that big character, and Parkinson obviously didn't like that big character, and he just sort of chucked McGeady out. And I think he's sort of destroyed a lot of the characters in that dressing room. So I don't know whether that's part of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want. To be fair to Charlie White and Max Power, may not be the best players in the world, but at least they have they look like something out, you know what I mean? They've got a bit of banter, they give it out. Whereas you see players like Tom Flanagan, like just look like they're just a bit bored. Have something
Yeah,
about you. Like Luke O'Nien, he loves it, mate. After the game, he literally speaks to any fan passionately for 5, 10, 20 minutes, as
yeah,
long as he wants. He's just loving life. He's a professional footballer. He's getting paid to play football. He's in his dreamland, mate. He's like a little kid. And I just think you've got to play. If you're playing with a smile on your face, you've got a bit of happiness, a bit of banter, but also seriousness. And then that's what you win in the winning team. You can't have too many quiet boys. And hopefully Aiden will get back in there and roughen it up a bit, let
yeah.
them know what it's like. And I'm sure Lee Johnson won't be afraid of getting the boys up for it because I know he's a fiery character.
Yeah, he is, and like as you say earlier, with lifting the ball boy up and running down the touchline or whatever. Like that just shows. I mean, can you imagine Parkinson doing that? Like the only time I've ever seen Parkinson celebrate a goal, he just goes. We could literally win in like the 112th minute, and he'll just be like, and that's it, and that is literally it. Johnson, man, he's running down the touchline,
No,
he's
as well.
picking up. That sounds a bit weird. Johnson running down the touchline, picking up kids, doesn't it?
with with Parkinson, yeah. If we got like an away win or something, he was never passionately giving it the old yeah, come on, bouncing around with the
Yeah.
fans after the game.
Yeah,
And I
he just
remember
went like that and whatever.
I've seen clips of Lee Johnson. He does the old bounce.
Yeah, yeah,
He
he's
does this
jumping up and
bouncy
down,
thing.
isn't
When
he?
I've seen him with Bristol City fans do that. He's such a small. He's only about this tall, mate. He's
I
about
know
five foot
he is, isn't
four.
he? He's
But he
tiny.
gets up and down, mate. He's up for it.
Yeah,
He is
exactly.
tiny.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine that when we actually
Yeah.
have like fans back in the stadium when we're there, like at an away
Oh,
game or whoever we're playing, and we win a game, and we just see our own manager coming over and he's jumping with our fans and whatever.
yeah.
Like that'd just be amazing to see, and that's what's going to keep people coming and enjoying the game, and they want to see a character like that, in the dressing room, and that's what's going to make people keep on keep on coming to the games, or they should be coming to the games anyway, but really enjoying it, and that just know that there's someone in there who's as passionate as we are, and wants the players to do well. I think I've seen Lee Johnson's training videos as well, where he's in the players' faces. I think they put a microphone on him for a Bristol City training session, and he's always
Yeah,
in
I
there
saw that.
talking to the players individually, going, "How are you feeling today?" Whatever. And he's a very big character, and I think that's what he wants. I think a Phil Parkinson dressing room and a Lee Johnson dressing room are going to be completely different. I think it's going to take a bit of time for the players to get used to a Lee Johnson dressing room, but once they do, man, it could really benefit all the players and their morale.
But genuinely though, if you think about it, imagine being in a Phil Parkinson dressing room. It must have been so demoralising.
Oh yeah.
And just one of the behind the scenes they did. I can't remember who it was against. You could hear him slightly overhear him basically saying, "Give Ledbetter the ball, give Grant the ball as much as possible, and we'll play with him." But he wasn't even shouting. He was just speaking like in a
Yeah.
monotone the whole time.
Yeah.
But he just was so dull. And if that's a manager, I'm thinking, do you know what? No, I can't really be asked today. There's no fans here, so I'm not going to get any abuse from the crowd. So do you know what? If we win, we win. If I'll run around for a bit and see if I can do anything. But they're not up for it with that manager. Whereas Lee Johnson, straight in the face, straight away. He's getting them up for it, and I'm sure he'd love a celebration if we get a result as well.
Oh,
that first win under his belt.
Yeah,
that'll be a brilliant moment, I think, in the change room on the long journey home in the bus as well.
Yeah. I mean, the more I talk about him, the more I like him, and I can see already that I think he's that character that we want as fans. Now we want as fans. The most passionate thing I ever heard Phil Parkinson said was like, "Drive us on, drive us on, drive us on." That was it. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, but yeah, I'm happy Phil Parkinson is gone now, and we can have a fresh new start. Hopefully, this is where even player recruitment now. Yeah, I think now we're going to have Speakmen at the club, and obviously Johnson now recruiting these players and trying to sign them. I think Speakmen was obviously he was at Birmingham, and weren't Birmingham trying to sign Marcus Maddison? I know now obviously Marcus Maddison is at Charlton, and we're not going to get him now, but I think now's a time where there might be those people in the club who are actually going, all right, now let's actually look at these players properly. Let's not just sign. I mean, who have we really signed that we've gone, wow, he's done well. Aidan O'Brien. I'm not being funny, yeah, but we could have signed Marcus Maddison, Scott Fraser, Luke Garbett, right? 3 quality players, and instead we've signed Aidan O'Brien. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know what sort of research that is, and hopefully we start making better decisions.
Not even. You don't even have to be bloody Messi, but just someone who actually would fit the team and is differentiates from what we already have.
Yeah.
Buying O'Brien and Graham, who are completely similar players to, you could say, Wyke and themselves.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, what is the point? Get a short, little, quick black bloke who gives it a few skills or something, runs past defenders. You like Dembele for Peter?
Yeah, I was about to say him, yeah.
Obviously, I think he's going to go to chip team in January, I think. Maybe even Premier League, but or Celtic, actually, because where his little brother plays. But anyway, someone like him, we just don't have.
Yeah.
We just don't have that player. That Lincoln City player that everyone's going about. I think he's called Grant. I think he's called George Grant.
Okay.
But apparently he's been brilliant for them this season. So I think also he's a danger man this weekend. Apparently he's been quality.
Yeah, exactly. I don't feel like we have that one player that is going to cause. It's just going to make a nightmare out of himself for the other team. I just don't think we have that playing for us. I mean, who's George Dobson? Is he going to make himself a nightmare for the other team with him running around? Like, just absolutely not.
Danny Collins was saying, if I was a centre half playing against Sunderland today, like the strikers, Graham, wouldn't you feel in today? Just think, do you know what, lads? They're not even all that. I think we've got some of the worst strikers in the league. I mean, I've seen many strikers put themselves about more than any of our strikers do. They just think, you know what, we park the shit out of the bus, you know. We let them cross balls. We're 6'5", so we had anything away. Do you know what? That's what they live for.
Yeah.
That's what they're paid to do. So they're just happy doing that. So we have to bring in an attacking player in January. Just someone different who's going to have a run at plays, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think Johnson, he was saying straight away after the game, he's seen one game. He's been in there for a few hours, and he already knows what he's going to do. Like some of the stuff he's going to do, the players, pace and power, he's going to bring in January. You know, as you say, little black guy, pace and power. That's what that is. You know, that I mean, you know, that's just what you need in this league. You know, someone who's going to make a complete nuisance out of himself. He already knows what he's going to do. Everything that Parkinson would have stopped at the end of the game has just said, well, you know, we played well. You know, we just did that well. We just got unlucky.
We passed it around nicely.
Yeah, you know, Jordan was unlucky, you know, to not, you know, to fall over. Or Bailey was unlucky to slip over and for us to drop 2 points again, you know, something stupid like that. Johnson just said, look, I'm being honest, you know, we're not, everything that we see as fan, everything that we were thinking Johnson was saying, and he's hopefully going to deliver for us in January. Yeah, that's what pretty much I've got to say about him so far. Now, tomorrow night, or if people watch this maybe later on this evening, playing Oldham in the Papa John's Trophy. Now, obviously, we know how much we love this competition. What are you sort of thinking for the team?
You've got to play the youngsters. I'd start Patterson, Neil, Diamond, Embleton. Probably start Dobson. He's otherwise not going to play in the game.
Christ.
Who else is there? Sanderson, 100% starting. Start Sanderson, definitely.
Yeah. What up front?
I wouldn't go too many up front. Probably. We'll try Like's back in the squad, so no, but he
might get some minutes. He might come on or start the game.
I'm not gonna lie, it'd probably be Danny Graham. I don't want it to be, but it probably will be.
Yeah, whoever's in the team, I think it's going to be a great sort of game for Johnson to sort of see, you know, see the squad a little bit more, because you know he's obviously seen his first regular league team playing last weekend, well on Saturday. So now he's going to see some of the youngsters play and some of the other players who were sitting on the bench, itching to get in that first team squad. So I think this is going to be another game for him to understand a little bit more about the team and the squad going into the Lincoln game. So hopefully we deliver. There you go, it's a pizza joke. The pizza jokes will be flying around tomorrow night, won't they?
Hopefully we don't get stuffed.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Right. Yeah, we've got to get the base of the team right, and then we can focus on doing whatever afterwards. Hopefully the you know, we're ringing on Oldham's bell. You know, get some good crosses into the box. You know, from Emberton, some good deliveries into the box. Anyway, enough of the pizza jokes. Score prediction for tomorrow night.
Oldham Athletic 1, Sunderland 1.
Right, fair enough.
And we're going to win on penalties.
We're that desperate to go through in this competition. We're going to win on penalties.
Will Grigg will still miss his.
Yeah. Oh, he'll miss an open goal at the last minute for us to win. I reckon it's going to be. Do you know what? I reckon it's going to be 2-1 to Sunderland. That's what I think. Do you reckon we're going to scrape it?
I was going to go with that, but.
Yeah. You're doing a lot of thinking there before you said what Sunderland.
I was, because I don't think we'll play. I think we'll play a few youngsters, which is fair enough.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've been looking at Oldham. Oldham in quite a good run of form, actually. I think they might be unbeaten 3 or 4. So
All right.
You never know. You never know what to expect.
Yeah, no, you never know. But I mean, it's not like necessarily I want to go through in this competition and go back to Wembley again.
Do we know if that are they allowed fans? Do we know?
I wouldn't think so.
It's a great question, that, actually.
I'm not too sure, you know. Let me have a look. What tier
What's that?
is Oldham
It's
in?
near Liverpool, isn't it?
Yeah,
Liverpool had fans.
it's in tier 3. It's in tier 3. There's going to be no fans.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, it's good, Joe. We wouldn't want those intimidating Oldham fans, you know, getting on the Sunderland players' backs. But anyway, yeah. So hopefully Sunderland win tomorrow. A little bit of an earlier kickoff, 6 p.m. But you know, hopefully we
Yeah,
still win.
interesting that.
Yeah. So I think we've done everything, said everything we possibly could for everything that's happened this week, because it's been a big week for the club. And yeah, got anything else you'd like to add, Dan, before we let everyone go?
I don't know. I think we discussed it all, really. A big game on Saturday, Lincoln, I tell you. They'd be decent. Second in the league. And they've got a few tricky, quick players. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but you've got to keep the faith.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, I will not be watching that match because I'm a grafter. I've recently got a job and I'm working on that day. So, unfortunately, can't be watching.
Oh, you Philly in disguise.
I'll try and watch it on my phone, like at break or whatever. But anyway, yeah. So
I'll be watching.
Hopefully, we win that match. Yeah, keep me updated. But yeah, no, thank you everyone for watching. If you watched this far in, thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel. Go follow Dan on Twitter. Go follow his Instagram. Go slide into his DMs. He loves it when people do that. And yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you next week. Thank you very much. Away the lads.